Look at a pristine, modern living room. It feels clean, curated, and perfectly safe. But just below the surface of synthetic rugs and fast furniture fabrics lies an invisible, pervasive problem. Every time we walk across a standard petroleum-based synthetic rug, it sheds microscopic plastic fibers. These invisible particles wash into our waterways, eventually accumulating in oceans and marine habitats. There is a different philosophy for furnishing a home, one that prioritizes objects engineered for a long life and a graceful exit. The handmade Kashmiri carpet sits at the far end of this spectrum, designed to exist for decades without causing environmental harm. To measure the real environmental impact of anything we buy, we have to look at its cradle-to-cradle life cycle. This is an accounting of every resource used from the moment an object is created to the moment it's discarded. This diagram shows that true sustainability requires a completely closed loop. We follow the materials out of the earth, through their long lifespan in a home, and trace their eventual, harmless return to the dirt. The journey begins far away from any industrial factory. High in the Alpine landscapes, flocks graze on natural grasses to produce pure Merino wool. Because it grows naturally, pure wool is entirely organic. It sheds exactly 0 microplastics into the environment, bypassing the contamination cycle of synthetic fabrics. The second primary material is pure mulberry silk. Harvesting it requires minimal intervention and relies on traditional mechanisms rather than energy-intensive machinery. The silkworms themselves thrive on a simple diet of mulberry leaves. The trees require virtually no heavy chemical fertilizers or land-degrading pesticides to grow. By starting with purely biological fibers, the foundation of the carpet is set. The ecological safety of the finished heirloom is established before a single knot is tied. Transforming raw fibers into vibrant art happens here. Skeins of yarn absorb their rich tones in small circular vats, relying on traditional dyeing methods. This graphic illustrates the chemistry difference. On one side, toxic heavy metal dyes break down into hazardous runoff. On the other, Azo-free dyes use stable organic compounds that bond securely to natural proteins, creating lasting color without destructive chemicals. Keeping hazardous chemicals out of the color vat ensures the fibers remain biologically pure. It guarantees the carpet can safely decompose decades later. The assembly of the rug happens within local communities. Along the riverbanks of Kashmir, production sits within a human-scale, localized economy. Master weavers execute the entire process manually. They sit at vertical looms, utilizing traditional hand knotting and hand tufting techniques developed over centuries. Compare this human-powered loom to an automated factory. There are no massive carbon emissions, no roaring diesel engines, and no heavy electrical grids powering the assembly line. As the artisan works, the natural fibers loop and pull tightly together. This hand knotting creates an interlocking structural integrity that a machine cannot replicate. It takes an immense amount of time and skill, but this zero-emission method produces a carpet durable enough to survive as a generational family heirloom. Once placed in a home, the rug begins its long, active lifespan. It anchors the living room and gets passed down from one generation to the next. Over those decades, the dense wool and silk provide tangible, passive benefits. They naturally insulate the floor, regulate ambient room temperature, and dampen everyday noise. Because there are no petroleum-based materials or toxic glues hidden inside, there is 0 chemical off-gassing. These organic fibers actively improve the indoor air quality of the space. The ultimate test of sustainability happens when the rug finally reaches the end of its multi-decade life. Instead of sitting in a landfill for 1,000 years, the fibers break down and dissolve back into the earth. Scientific studies confirm that pure wool and silk, free from microplastics and azo dyes, are completely biodegradable in both soil and marine environments. Ultimately, true luxury demands an environmental conscience. The value of these objects lie in their ability to serve a home for generations and then vanish without a trace once their work is finished.